last forever, a fridge doesn't last forever, a stove doesn't last forever, nothing lasts forever. And the electrical system is probably one of the most important parts of our house. And I really wish people would get them looked at, inspected, and checked a lot more frequently than they do. Most people never do it at all. And my recommendation would be maybe once every 10 years, you get someone to come in and go through your whole system to make sure nothing's worn out and everything's working properly for the safety of themselves, their family, their pets, and all their belongings. That was interesting because I've been doing seminars for Birnie for well over a year, maybe almost 2 years, before I thought, well, okay, I'm telling everybody they should get this done, maybe I should get my own home looked at. And I had been having issues. The first one being that my stove kept blowing fuses, and I thought I had something wrong with my stove. And the first thing they did when I told them that is they went and checked the electrical panel, and sure enough, there was problem number one. The wires were all loose in the panel, which was causing that to happen. So after they found a few other small little inconsistencies, I'll call them, I decided I'll have them do the full treatment. And they were in there for an entire day, which also surprised me. They pulled out every plug, every switch, every light fixture in the house, outside the house, checked all the outside plugs, checked the garage, and they presented me with a rather lengthy, thick report, complete with photographs of everything that was wrong. And knowing what I know about electricity and wires, I could see by the proof they were giving me that these things were actually wrong. They weren't just trying to sell me a bill of goods to make some money. So I ended up having to replace most of the plugs and switches in my house and make sure all the connections were right. I even had them replace the panel, because even though the panel was only about 30 years old, I figured it was fine. They were able to show me that it wasn't safe anymore. It had worn out and there was signs of rust and other damage in it, so I had them do that as well. I also followed on a lot of their recommendations in terms of putting surge protectors on for my whole house, for my cable, for my telephone, because I'd seen too many clients lose their TV sets, their stereos, their computers, and other equipment every time there was a power surge. So I didn't want that happening to my place. I figured, okay, the guys are here, let's just do everything. And they did it all in a very timely fashion. It was all done with a permit, and I got a certificate afterwards giving me a lengthy warranty on it. So I not only feel safer living in the house now, but I know when I go to sell it, it's going to give me an edge on somebody else who hasn't had it done. Well, CurrentSAFE basically, I guess, is a residential-based electrical program, whereas the people from Birnie will come in and do an electrical inspection on your home. And what they have that the other electrical companies don't have is, besides having very, very well-trained electricians or technologists, they also have the equipment to do the proper inspections. Most electricians cannot afford the money it costs for all these tools because they're horrendously expensive. I've been dealing with very small local companies, and I was finding a lot of problems with them in terms of getting them onto the job in time, getting to do jobs basically in a neat, orderly fashion. A lot of these gentlemen just didn't seem to care about the client. They would do what was easiest for them, not worried about the damage they were causing. Just not great workmanship or good quality workmanship. And then when I found Birnie Electric, when I was searching for a new electrical company, I was just taken aback, I guess not only by the size of the company, because I've never dealt with a company this size in terms of my electrical work, but also by the professionalism, not only of the electricians they're sending me, but the entire staff. In the past, it's hard to know if they have a problem with their wiring, and we'll start with knob and tube, because I used to do a lot of homes in downtown Toronto, and I was finding with the knob and tube, first of all, quite often the wires are badly corroded, because even though technically it's one of the safer systems, the coatings or the insulation around the wires over age has deteriorated. So we saw a lot of bare wires going through walls, which obviously is very, very dangerous. Aluminum wiring would be sort of the same thing. I didn't even know how bad aluminum wiring was or know much about it, quite frankly, until I started with the CurrentSAFE program and started listening to the seminars, and then I started paying more attention to it. And now I'm almost kind of shocked at how bad some of it is. and how people think they can have it in their homes but don't have to do anything about it at all. Once it's there, you don't have to touch it. With some of the older homes we've renovated, where there have been other people doing electrical work that hasn't been done right, be it the electricians or the other homeowners or a local fireman or whoever they happen to pick up to do the work. And when we open up walls, we see live wires buried in the walls, junction boxes buried in the walls, wires not installed properly, wires with nails through them. I could probably talk for half an hour about all the inefficiencies or things that were wrong that we have found in homes. Definitely there's a need for more electrical education, which is one reason why I like participating in your seminars. We get people out so that we can help educate them. And I know anytime I've had anyone on from Birnie CurrentSAFE on my show, we usually get a lot of electrical questions. And even when there isn't somebody there, the knowledge I've learned by attending your seminars has made me more knowledgeable, so when someone does ask me an electrical question on the air, I'm now able to answer it. And if someone says they've got a minor problem, I'll be rather upfront and say, you need to get an electrician in your house immediately. Don't put it off, because every time you turn on the news or read the paper, there's another fire or something else being caused, and I don't want my listeners to be one of those people.